Hey guys, Ryan here. Today I want to do something a little different with this short. Instead of complaining about something or reviewing something or previewing something, I want to talk to you guys about impact. But more specifically, I want to tell you guys why now is the time to give it another chance. Now, a lot of you may have heard about Slammiversary, pay-per-view they just had, and I don't think it's out of the question to say that top to bottom, it was one of the best pay per views that they have put on as a company in years, if not ever. I'm not saying anything on the card was better than Styles Joe Daniels or any of their other classics, but I'm saying there was so many things on that card, quality wise. The undercard was strong, the mid card was strong, and it gives me hope that full disclosure. So, just my little background. I watched when it was TNA. I watched starting about mid 2000s, right around when Kurt Angle showed up, but a little before. So, right when we were really getting into the Sting versus Jeff Jarrett feud. And I followed it for about half a decade. I personally stopped watching it around 2010, early 2010, right around when AJ Styles lost the Impact title to Rob Van Dam, and Hogan and Bischoff were becoming more and more prevalent, and so I actually was able to tap out before any of this Immortal stuff. Though I did go back and watch it when things came up that felt like I wanted to see. Things like highlights of Bobby Roode's title reign, some of the more interesting parts of AJ's new loner gimmick, the matches between the Wolves, the Dudleys, or sorry, Team 3D and the Hardys, and of course Final Deletion, all the broken mat stuff. But I never really decided to give it another chance because I always knew that there was something else going on, something I wasn't going to be a fan of, and I mean, we all know the jokes. We all know, they'll push Hornswoggle if he came from WWE. He may have shown up in the company. I actually honestly don't know. Um, but just the fact that they would push anyone who was from WWE over their own talent. The fact that they ripped off a lot of WWE's old storylines, things like that, and it was it, I in the first thing we need to get out there is it's Impact. It's not TNA. People, if you still call it TNA, that tells me that you're not willing to give them another chance. In which case, I don't know if I should say that this video is for you or this video is not for you. But the bottom line is this: TNA had a lot of potential, and it was thrown out and it was mishandled, and blame whoever you want to blame, as long as that person's Vince Russo or someone in that stratosphere. But Impact is doing its very best to overcome the stigma, and I think that they're genuinely trying, and it deserves a second chance. It deserves us to give them another chance. I mean, the biggest difference between them then and them now is, and you can interpret this however you want, but they're no longer trying to be WWE. And this is going to sound condescending, but it's actually one of the biggest compliments about them. They're no longer trying to act like they're a big-time promotion. And what I mean by that is, they're not... Well, first and foremost, the biggest thing about them not trying to be big is their contracts. They're still signing people to contracts, but they are no longer determined to keep people being exclusive. And I know they had working relationships with other companies before. Early years, they had a lot of crossover with Ring of Honor, and even into their mid times, but until the Rob Feinstein thing. But another story for another time. But because they're not trying to nail people down to the floor there, Some people see that as a sign that they're small time, but what it actually means is there's a lot of more people who are now willing to wrestle there because they can wrestle there and then go back to Lucha Underground. They can wrestle there and then go back to Mexico, go back to Japan, go back to Ring of Honor, go back to some of the promotions in the UK. I know there's some people that wrestle at Defiant. And as a result, you're getting a lot of talent that wouldn't be in that building. And as a result, we're getting a lot of really good wrestling. And at the end of it all, everyone looks for something different when they want to watch something pro wrestling. But the core of it is, we just want to watch good wrestling matches. And I don't have it up in front of me, but I'm pretty sure the card for Slammiversary involved Johnny Impact / Morrison / Mundo / Hennigan / Nitro, etc. So Johnny Impact versus Phoenix versus Petey Williams versus Taiji Ishimori. Now remember, Phoenix is currently wrestling down in CMLL. Taiji Ishimori, who, he was on Impact, but now he's back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's a member of the Bullet Club. That's a pretty big get for them. They wouldn't be able to do that if they were so insistent on not letting people go elsewhere. And on a side note, during that match, Don Callis, who also does commentary for New Japan, obviously, was making, blatant references to the likes of the Bullet Club, Kenny Omega. Who knows? Maybe that means that some of them will show up at Impact down the line. You also had Eddie Edwards versus Tommy Dreamer in what I'm being told was described as an old school ECW style hardcore match. I saw the match. I didn't really watch a lot of ECW growing up, so I'll take their word for it. Then you had LAX versus the OGs, so the old LAX versus the new LAX, and another street fight, and that was really good. And then you had a Pentagon Jr. versus Sammy Callahan in what I can say was a very Lucha Underground style hardcore match. One that I was really surprised made it on to the show, but I wasn't mad at it. I really enjoyed it, and I think that was the best match on the card, but that's neither here nor there. You had Tessa Blanchard showing her dominance as the woman in that division. She may not have the belt yet, but it'll come. You had Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage in a very baffling but very good match. Baffling in the sense of it was a little man heel versus a big guy face, but they were reversed the roles where Sydal was acting like the big powerhouse. There was one spot where Cage was going for a Hurricanrana and Sydal powerbombed him, and it was so preposterous that was just amazing. And the main event, Austin Aries versus Moose, and not everyone loves Moose, but this was far and away Moose's best match, and Austin Aries is just amazing. Top to bottom, this card was really good. And I've stuck around, watched some more Impact since then, and it's not perfect, and it's never going to be, and nothing's ever going to be. WWE, New Japan, NXT, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, they're all going to have their issues, some more than others. But I think Impact is really the best thing I can say about Impact is Trevor Lee would go to Indies and have himself announced as Impact Wrestling's Trevor Lee and be showered with booze. He's no longer showered with booze, which is pretty much great for everyone except Trevor Lee, who, needs it for the heat, but he'll find another way. I think that this is a clear sign that they're really starting to turn the ship around. So I say give him another shot, because why not? What is the worst thing that can happen is you watch a couple wrestling matches and you decide not to watch anymore. People act like it's such an investment to get into a company. And I understand not everyone has time to watch all the wrestling they want. And there's so much good wrestling out there. But, if it's as I'm speaking, it's a Wednesday morning. If it's a Wednesday morning and you got nothing else to do, and, you decide, what else is going on? Why not just pull up some Impact Wrestling? Give it a chance. Because, and we'll bring it back to my old rantings about, because if the best way to show WWE that we don't like what they're doing with Roman Reigns is to stop watching, the best way to prove to Impact Wrestling that they're on the right track is to watch them when they're doing well. It is the simplest form of entertainment logistics. You like something, you watch it. You don't like something, you don't watch it. And people have lost the art. They don't understand it anymore. And we need to be able to learn that sometimes it's okay to stop watching something if you don't like it. But if they're doing something you do like, they deserve your viewership. Because who knows, maybe they won't get the rebound they need and they'll go in another direction. And I'd hate to see that happen. This was a PWB short. I'll be back sometime soon. Feel free to share in the comments any topic you want me to go on about. And hope to hear from you soon.